Hello everyone, welcome back to Cluster B Milkshake. I am your host, and today with Mr. Chicken Mike, let's turn you, we are going to talk about borderline personality disorder. Now, I've been asked to talk about this in the past, probably months ago, but I wanted to do it today because Ben Taylor, he put up a TikTok. Somebody asked him about borderline personality disorder, so he looked up the DSM and he just read the traits of borderline. That's it. That is all he did. He had no fucking opinion on it, nothing. And he got attacked as fuck. Don't you talk about borderline personality disorder. We ain't no narcissist. We ain't no narcissist. He's like, I didn't even fucking say nothing. What the fuck? So anyways, I thought that I could I'll probably have to do a series because y'all's complex. And because you are on the cluster B spectrum, you also can be comorbid with other traits. And not just with, cluster B traits. I mean, you can have cluster A and cluster fucking C, So I'm going to read this off and I'm going to tell you if I feel that I have any of these, which this does resemble a lot of vulnerable narcissism, as Sam Vaknin has said, that borderline and vulnerable mirror each other. Okay? I have read this through this a few times, and I do relate with these traits, and some of them I do not. Okay? But and you will also see that they coddle the borderline and demonize the narcissist, even though that they have the same traits. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. Okay. Understanding why a borderline patient acts the way they do. This is by Little Shaman. Okay. On Quora. I'm reading from Quora. Their behavior is based on their feelings. Mm-hmm. Borderlines interpret reality according to how they feel. Situations that aren't threatening are perceived by the borderline patient as threatening because the borderline patient already feels threatened. So they're always on edge. Okay? Comments that aren't hurtful or rejecting are perceived as hurtful and rejection because the borderline patient already feels hurt and rejected. So they're always going to take shit the wrong way. Okay? I don't fucking feel this. I'm just like, whatever. I don't even fucking care. But when you are close with somebody, a close partner or whatever, sometimes you will be on edge all the time, as time goes on. This is why, no matter how much care is taken not to upset a loved one suffering from BPD, you can't avoid upsetting them. They are already upset. This is what was talked about with vulnerable narcissism, having that underlying anger all the time. It's always fucking there. I have said that there's darkness, sadness, anger. We're always protecting the sadness because that's a vulnerable thing. We don't fucking like it. Now, the vulnerable narcissists will show it, but they will get angry and protect and push down, push down, push down. I feel any fucking sadness coming up, fucking rage-a-thon monster, get the fuck away from me. And that's when I will leave, ghost, no contact, whatever. Just leave me the fuck alone. Oh, okay. They often play victim. In your relationship with a borderline personality disordered person, in their mind, you are the enemy and they are the victim. Their illness precludes them from taking personal responsibility for themselves or their lives, or even understanding what personal responsibility really means. Indeed, they expect to be taken care of. This is not me, man. I go out and I take care of fucking business. It It is always somebody else's fault because their defense mechanisms are in place to protect them from being hurt or blamed. They cannot tolerate having to take responsibility for their actions. If they have to choose between you or them, they will always choose themselves. Always. Sadly, their illness creates a situation where no other choice is possible. Therefore, you are the enemy because they feel bad. And it has to be somebody else's fault. It cannot be theirs, so it must be yours. They make this shit sound just so fucking butterfly rainbow nice for the fucking borderline, because the fucking narcissist is the same goddamn way. You know, if we have to choose between you or us, we're choosing us. Hello. And yes, you are the enemy. Their actions are selfish, but they can feel remorseful. That's nice. Most people cannot comprehend the selfishness of someone with BPD unless they live with somebody with this disorder. For those that do live with someone with BPD, it can be an unbearable burden, but this is not the borderline patient's fault. Look at this. Responsibility stricken completely. Now, I know that there are things done automatically without thinking, and maybe these are the lower ones that are not, understand their behaviors and how they're hurting. But fucker, man, over time, you got to know that something's going on. You guys tell me in the comments. You borderlines, you tell me in the comments. Because, there's a spectrum of awareness. And over time, you got to know that, I'm being a dick. I know I'm being a dick to get my way. And you, just like us, we just want our needs met. So we're going to fuck you up to get our needs met. Okay. I cannot stress enough. Nothing matters to them but themselves when they are upset. Big time. When we all mad, all of us on the fucking cluster B, when we mad, we're gonna destroy to get our needs met, to get what we want. And that can be the feeling of abandonment. We're gonna fucking do whatever to fucking get you to stay or get your When you tell a borderline patient how their actions have affected others, they cannot understand what you are saying. And even if they do, it is not something they feel they can control. Yes, shit is fucking out of control big time. I have watched my boyfriend just woo, and there was nothing I can do. I can't even fucking stop him. Now, when I'm triggered into, rage attack angry, and it does not happen often, people, but when I do, and it's because I'm being triggered by my, ex cluster B, fuck, man, out of control. And I would go drink just to punish him so I can be even more impulsive. If they have to hurt someone to get what they think they need, they will do so because they are emotionally fragile. They feel they are constantly under attack by everyone around them. In their eyes, their selfish behavior is self-defensive. I do not feel like I am being attacked all the time unless I'm in a very close relationship and I feel like I'm being accused all the goddamn time of something, If I'm left alone, I'm fucking fine. But if I'm being accused 24/7, or why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you? It's like, fuck, leave me the fuck alone, man. The borderline patient sees things in an extremely distorted way. They often believe things that are not true. This is the gaslighting yourself and making up false memories. They will continue to believe these things even when the facts in front of them spell out something completely opposite. This is like when there's no proof. You cannot give fucking proof, and they give no fucks. No matter how much proof you give. It's like, No amount of arguing, persuading, reasoning, or logic will change their mind. As stated before, the borderline patient interprets the facts to match how they feel, often claiming that people have done or said things to them that have not been done or said. This is the fucking making up the false stories and shit, and we believe it. There's no question of whether they care about other people's needs and well-being. The borderline patient is just not wired that way. Isn't that nice? You're not wired that way, but we're just spawns of Satan. Okay? Fuck. It never even crosses their minds when they are upset. However, afterwards, they may feel guilt and remorseful, even to the point of being suicidal. This may be one of the only differentiating characteristics between borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. The borderline patient is capable of remorse, the narcissist is not. Now, the thing with the unaliving, it's not just, oh, I feel sad I did something, I've got to off myself. No, I mean, there's like this underlying sadness, man. And to me, please, borderlines, comment, like people when they're cutting and stuff, I have not wanted to fucking do that ever. And it just seems like just the shame is just so much that the only release, releasing some of the shame is self-mutilation. Let me know, because I don't know. Educate us. The burden on the borderline patient's loved ones. They don't understand that their actions are hurting you. One of the hardest things people living with borderline patients may find is that any attempts to change the subject or talk about somebody else's feelings is perceived as rejection, and that the other person doesn't care. Yes, that's the whole, we want our feelings validated, fuck your feelings, okay? Attempting to call them out on things they've done to hurt others routinely end up with the borderline patient sobbing, exclaiming that these things are just being said to upset them. I do not do this. I do not fucking sob or you're just doing this to hurt my feeling. I do not do that. I have cried to my mother because she wouldn't validate my feelings when I was young. And after a while, you're just, you turn cold as fuck and you're like, fuck it, fuck you, man. This is probably when the narcissist fucking shifted. You know, how Sam Vaknin's like, a borderline is a failed narcissist. Well, I fucking didn't fucking fail that. I was like, fuck you, man. Fine, I'll fucking destroy everything to get my needs met. This type of response hurts loved ones very badly. It is extremely dismissive of their feelings. Indeed, it implies that they have none, or that their feelings only matter as far as they affect the borderline patient. Yes, this is true. The borderline patient responds in this way because they simply don't believe anyone else's feelings are real. That's a cute way of saying your feelings don't matter. Okay? It isn't really a manipulative device to hurt their loved ones, at least not intentionally. This is the ones that aren't aware. And they're just going out fucking trying to survive and fucking destroy whatever the fuck to get what they want. You know? Therefore, they cannot understand that their actions may be hurting others. Oh, please. You can see it because your fucking person is trying to tell you all the time how you're fucking hurting them. You can't fucking say that I'm not hurting you. You know how many times I've told my mother how many times that she is being hurtful, especially when she's beating the shit out of me? They fucking know. Especially when they're upset. Yes, they're upset and they fucking know that they're fucking hurting you. They just don't care. Just like the narcissist, we don't care. We want what we want. This is an area of overlap between borderline and narcissism, yes. Over time, you may just stop caring. The biggest hurdle families face is that even though they know how much pain a borderline patient is in, and they understand that he or she cannot control the way they act after years of being exploded on, screamed at, accused, harassed, threatened, exploited, manipulated, emotionally blackmailed, physically assaulted, and having their possessions repeatedly destroyed for essentially no reason. It can be very hard to care for anyone about how the borderline patient feels. Exactly. Are they going to make an excuse? Are they going to make an excuse for the borderline's behavior? That's not fucking fair. If they're going to be excused, then the narcissist gets to be excused too. We are in the same family. Everyone has their limits. Spouses, children, siblings, even parents may carry around great anger or resentment towards the borderline patient for constantly disrupting the peace in the home and for constantly provoking their abuse and abusing others in the family. On some level, they may even hate the borderline patient. This is, of course, exactly what the borderline patient was afraid of all along. And they are often unable to understand that they're caught what they're doing in their own behavior. Yeah, they're saying they're fucking oblivious to their shit and they just walk around destroying fucking everything. Well, you ain't the only one. But I'll tell you, the more greater understanding that a borderline or narcissist gets, the more that we will know how to manipulate you to get our needs met. Okay? Loved ones. Okay, try to remember that it's not their fault. Okay, so now, they're taking away responsibility just completely. This, I'm not trying to be a massive dick, just a small dick. Because there are levels of awareness, okay? You should not be just given Scott freedom. Loved ones can try to counteract these feelings of resentment by remembering that it is not the borderline's person that they hate, but the disorder. Just like narcissist, I do not hate the person, or I hate the illness, right? But because they have all these lovely, mushy feelings still, they get a pass, where we have nothing. Complete fucking void. So the borderline will have no sense of self. We have no sense of a fucking nothing. BPD is the bad guy here, and the borderline patient is just as much a victim of it as their loved ones are. It can be very hard to remember this when faced with screaming, shrieking, being a hysterical family member, but it's true. Most of us who rip BPT, most of us would want to take them out of their heads if they could. It's basically what they're fucking saying. And, yeah. So if you ever saw when a borderline person is having a meltdown, it will seem like, a tantrum is being thrown. Where somebody with narcissism, it's almost like a demon is attacking you, coming after you, and with all the fucking verbal violence behind it. But we do mix, okay? So, without attacking my fucking ass, write down some of your experience being a borderline person, okay? Because and the ones that are going to comment, you do have a sense of awareness. I mean, are they just fucking giving you Scott freedom here? I mean, I do understand that my mother does things without thinking, but she also, like children, you know what you're going to get away with. But I mean, these people are like the ones that get the restraining orders against them. They don't give a fuck. They'll fucking just go and try to contact you anyways. They don't fucking care. At least that's what my mom did. And some of the people that I've talked to, you guys do. And I talked to some borderline people too. And they're just like, I want what I want. And I'm going to go after it. And I'm like, okay, please don't do that. This is what you need to do to manipulate the situation. And they're like, fuck it. Roar! And they're just fucking tearing at the curtains like a goddamn cat. So, let me know what you think, okay? Yay! Have a nice day. Gobble, gobble. Namaste.